Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers. Just going to do your handover video on this 2004 VW high top. I believe it to be a Remo top, just going by the shape of it. So it's going to be a relatively short video because there's not a huge amount to this van, but we'll just start here under the bonnet. So we got the air filter on the left hand side here, next door to the brake fluid and servo. Power steering fluid is just here at the very front with the green top. Engine oil dipstick is the orange topped pulley just there at the front of the engine, and the oil filling point is just there. You then got your washer fluid in this reservoir just here. Next door to it is the engine coolant. The engine battery sits underneath this cover just here, so you will need to just take off these two little little caps here. You can just use like a big flathead screwdriver to take them out, and that will then give you access to the engine battery. So inside the passenger door, we've got the diesel filling point, which you do need the door to be open so that it will release that little door there. Obviously you've got the sliding door just here working nicely, and the captain's swivel chair just there. So to use these, it's nice and simple. Lift the seat up and out of the way, and it's not that type of seat. Probably should have checked that before. Right, so you haven't got to lift that up to actually turn it. So these two bolts at the front and the two bolts at the back are the ones that you need to loosen off in order to swivel this seat around. So to put them back in again, so you can see, there is a little bit that you've got these two little bars that come out to the side, so I have to slot in, and then you'll be able to tighten it down. But that's basically how you undo and do up these seats. I'll just carry on around to the back. So at the back of the vehicle, we've got your portaloo here at the back. You've got a proper freshwater system just there. So the filling point for the fresh tank is just here, and you have got a specific key for that on the fob. It's the only other key on the fob, on the key ring. So pop the silver key in, twist it, and then that'll allow you to take this cap out. So that there is your fresh water filling point. If you want to drain the fresh water out, there is a freshwater draining hose. So you just pull this out to the side, and then you'll be able to drain it out from this little dial here. You've then got in the lower locker just here, you have got the leisure battery sat in there, nice and easy to get to. Above that, a couple of bits, so your trip switches and your battery charger. So when you're plugged in on the mains, this battery charger here will be able to just basically just start charging up the leisure battery. Nice and simple. Next door to the freshwater filling point, you have got the electric hookup inlet. So having that plugged in means that your charger will come to life, and also any 240 volt plug sockets in the vehicle will also work. Inside the driver's door, we've got the original tyre pressures and size in there. The bonnet release handle is just inside here underneath the dashboard. So you've got the 5-speed manual gearbox. Indicators are on the left hand stalk, and washers and wipers on the right. Relatively low mileage for one of these VWs, 94,000. It's not too bad at all. You've got the lights, side lights and main beam from there, and you've also got your headlight adjustments and dashboard lights, so how dim they are from there. So I'll just go onto the inside now, and again, like I said, this is going to be a relatively short video, just because it's a nice simple vehicle. So if I just quickly run you through what we've got here. So these two switches here, I have been told, don't do anything at all. Okay, so they're probably just put there just in case you ever wanted to wire up anything else. This very left-hand switch does all of the lights, all of your roof lights there, all working, and the one to the right of it turns on the pump. So once you've turned that pump switch on, you can then pull the tap and have the water coming through. The wastewater will just go straight out onto the floor because this is the only place that the water comes out from, so I'm pretty sure it just comes straight out underneath. And once you're done with the pump, turn the little switch off there, and when you're done with the lights, obviously turn that switch off there as well. These 3 sockets just here are 240 volt sockets, so you will have to have the hookup plugged in order to use any of these. In this little cupboard just here, you've just basically got access to the bottom of the tank, bottom of the sink, sorry, and the tap. So that's all good in there. This cupboard just here, slightly more important really. So you get more access to the bottom of the sink, and you've got a gas isolator valve just there, so that's for the cooker. Actually, is that for the cooker? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is for the cooker. But the main reason we're looking in this cupboard really is because we've got this gas box just here. So this is your gas locker. So you've got a camping gas bottle in there. I think that's a 907. Can't quite see it. Whichever. You know, you can basically, any camping gas bottle with this same top will fit inside here. So all you need to know really is that you go anti-clockwise round to the left to turn this gas on, and clockwise round to the right to turn it off. You do need to turn these off before you start driving, that's really important. And you've got your bulkhead regulator up at the back, so it's all completely up to regulation, as you should expect. I do know now, just thinking about it, that is definitely for the cooker, because the fridge here doesn't work on gas. It only works on 12 volt or 240 volts. So that isolator there will be for the cooker. So I'm going to leave that on just for a second. So the 2-burner hob at the top, you've literally just got a piezo igniter just here. So when you push this down, probably can't see it on the video, but a little spark jumps across between the igniter here and the burner. So for you to see that properly, I suppose I'll show you lighting it up. There you go. So all I've done there is turned this and pushed it down just like any other cooker, whilst pressing down on the ignition here. And so, you know, after a couple of seconds or so, that flame has lit up nicely. And yeah, it's the same on both of them. You've got a thermocouple at the back of that, which is the little metal prong there at the back of it. And what the thermocouple does essentially is it senses the flame. And so when it senses that there's a flame there and that it's lit properly, it will allow the gas to carry on coming through. So that's how that works. They're both working. We have to check those as part of the habitation check. So now that I've just shown you that, I'm just going to turn the gas off clockwise round to the right to turn it off. And this cover here, you basically just have to sit it nicely, bit awkward with one hand, in there like that, twist it around, and that's it, completely closed up. So in a metal box, bulkhead regulator, all that sort of stuff, you know, up to sort of the current regs there, which is always helpful. As I said, this fridge isn't wired up or piped up to the gas, just so that you know that. It is an electric only fridge, but it does work on the mains or 12 volt, which is really helpful. So if you're hooked up on the mains, if you've got a mains cable plugged in, you would press this switch here over to the left, and that will basically just start cooling this fridge down via your 240 volt power. And if you didn't have that and you wanted it on otherwise, you can have it on the 12 volt there. You can leave this on 12 volt whilst you drive as well, which is kind of the idea behind it, so that this fridge will stay cold whilst you drive as well. Got a little travel catch for the fridge there as well, so that it doesn't open up when you drive. And just make sure that you put these down, make sure your windows are shut, all that sort of stuff. So you've got the ability to have another bed made up the top here, and in order to do that, you literally just undo these little clips here, so pull them up and then basically pull this forwards all the way to the front, and that makes up your big double bed up top. The bed at the bottom, nice and easy as well. You just basically got this handle here, pull that to the left, and the whole bed system will come towards you and lay flat. So it's a standard sort of rock and roll bed, they call those. There you go. So again, as I said, I know this has been a short video, but in all honesty, there's not much else for me to show you on it. You've got an awning out here. This is a standard wind out awning. It's a Fiamma, looks like an F45 to me. But yeah, I have got a separate video on the YouTube channel of how to use these awnings. If you wanted to look at that, if you wanted to sort of just make sure you're doing it right, or if you have any problems with it, then have a look on there. But there you go. So if you think I've missed anything out, or if you want anything else going through, just let us know. But otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.